What is up everyone, and welcome to some more F1 22 My Team career mode. This time we're going to be at the Canadian Grand Prix. We're coming in riding a high from a win in Monaco, the most unexpected win I've maybe ever had in a My Team career mode video. I suck unbelievably at Monaco, probably my worst track on the calendar, so to get a win there was kind of unexpected to say the least. Especially in the same season where I had a win at Imola as well, which is another track that I am absolutely appalling at. We are having a fantastic season. After a couple races this season, was prepared to completely write it off. We had 2 DNFs at Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, which are 2 fairly strong tracks for me, so to not score any points there was very disappointing, and you know, I was prepared to just say, yeah, there's no chance we're defending the championship this season. But yeah, then we picked up wins in China, where else? Imola, Miami, Monaco. Yeah, four race wins now this season so far in only 8 races is pretty good going, considering we only had 8 points after the first 3 races. We've managed to turn it around, and hopefully we can continue turning it around here in Canada today. I mean, I say turning it around, we are leading the championship now after Alex Albon had a disappointing time out in Monaco. He messed up in qualifying, didn't get through to Q3, and then his weekend was basically over. He had a DNF in Monaco as well, just to add insult to injury, but I don't think he would have scored points even if he had finished that race. So yeah, we're top of the championship, I think by about 12 or 13 points, something like that. And if we can get a good result here, then nobody can usurp us on the top of the table. You know, if we can get onto the podium, at least that would be fantastic. But it is going to be a wet qualifying, which means we might find ourselves a little bit further down the order. I do tend to struggle in the wet, no matter what the track is. Especially at a track that isn't one of my strongest to begin with. I think just making it into Q3 will be an achievement if we can manage that. But there's a number of things we have to do first, and the first of those is, of course, practice, which is what we're about to get into now. I won't show you any actual footage from me driving in practice. I don't think you need to see it. But one thing you probably do need to know is that, yeah, we weren't even here in the top 14. We were actually 19th. I'll scroll down and show you that in just a moment. Yeah, I was one of the slowest of the people who did a run on the mediums. Albon was able to get himself into the 109s on the mediums. I couldn't even get into the 110s, so he was over a second faster than me on the same compound of tyre, which was yeah, a little bit embarrassing. And I hope that I can find more pace than that. I usually do in qualifying, granted, but you know, with the rain coming and everything, I think we're going to need to get lucky with the timing of the rain, and hope that we can get out on track at a good time rather than at an inopportune time. Because whereas the AI might be able to still sneak their way through the sessions, I need to come out at pretty much the perfect time if I want any chance of making it through to Q2 and Q3. So yeah, we're about to get into qualifying now. And I can only hope that this goes well, but you never know. I guess it remains to be seen. We'll go out now, and we start our first flying lap on a fresh set of soft compound tyres, because it hasn't started raining just yet, but we got kind of held up by the Williams of Enzo Fittipaldi, unfortunately. So we crossed the line, and it's a 110.1, but I wasn't convinced that was going to be good enough to get us through. So actually what I did when I saw I was already up by over a tenth coming out of the first couple of corners was I just decided to do a run on the same set of tyres and go to the end. And yeah, as we come up to the line, we're almost 5 tenths up. It's a 109.6, and you know, if the rain is coming soon, I think that should be good enough to see us through, hopefully. And indeed, that was the case. We got through in P13, nothing special. Meanwhile, Albon still 8 tenths ahead of me up there in P1. So I think there's a good chance this weekend, if I don't get my act together, that he might reclaim the lead of the championship. But we've still got another qualifying session to get through before we can immediately write ourselves off this weekend. And even if we don't get through, to be fair, you never know. I'm very good at recovery drives. I've had a number of times, especially last season, where I sort of started either outside the top 10 or just at the very lower end of the top 10 and managed to get myself back into the top 5. So yeah, there's nothing to say that necessarily we will lose out. We do a 116.1 to kick things off on a set of intermediate tyres. Now the rain is here. And then we try going again on the intermediate tyres, but the track has definitely gotten worse. So we can't improve, and we're down in 14th, and so that means our session is over. We're out, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Very disappointing. I was hoping we'd at least be able to get through to Q3, but no dice, unfortunately. And Albon just about made it through in P9, so hopefully he can find some good form in Q3, maybe get a good result for the team. Hopefully get amongst those Ferraris as well, because they look pretty good. Few interesting people getting through there, including Porsche and the Alfa Romeo. Only team not to score any points so far this season, Alfa Romeo. So maybe Porsche can put an end to that. And I'm going to try and put an end to me being outside of the top 10 when the race kicks off. We're currently locked in a rivalry with Max Verstappen, as you can see. I'm leading it just by a little bit, so ideally I'd like to do better than him, but being out-qualified by him, I think that's going to be easier said than done. And yeah, I just hope that things aren't so terrible in the race that we get completely upstaged by Alex Albon in the championship. I want to keep things competitive, even if he retakes the lead, which he very, very well might. If I can get back into sort of like P5, and he wins, which I'm assuming he will, because he wins everything that I don't win. Yeah, if I can get back into sort of about P5 or so, he'll only take the lead by about 2 points. So let's see how we both fare when we get into the race.
It's time once again then to go racing here in Montreal, the second largest French-speaking city in the world, home since 1978 to the Canadian Grand Prix. With top speeds of around 210 miles per hour heading into the overtaking opportunity of turn 13, the 2.7 miles of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve are some of the quickest on the Formula One calendar. There are 14 corners in total, with 60% of the lap taken at full throttle, and average speeds clock in at about 130 miles per hour. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Albon, Verstappen, Pierre Gasly and Russell, Fernando Alonso, Mick Schumacher, Théo Pourchaire and Oscar Piastri, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Robinson and Schwartzman, Norris, Stroll, Nicholas Latifi and Daniel Ricciardo, Lundgaard, Fittipaldi, Ocon and Guan Yu Zhou. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. And with me today, of course, is Natalie Pinkham. Let's talk about Robinson. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, they've been avoiding mistakes and have had solid pace, so it's been a good season so far. But whether they can keep that up long term remains to be seen.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum.
Let's aim to keep it going, is what he was going to say, but because I don't play this game with sound, I am the master of cutting off voice lines. We're going to be doing a different strategy to all of the cars around us, which I hope is going to pay off for us. And yeah, we're going to try and go on a set of softs onto a set of mediums and do a soft medium instead of what the AI is doing, which I think they're all doing a medium hard instead. So hopefully the strategy will work out for us. Hopefully we can make up a lot of positions early and defend those positions when it comes down to it. But yeah, we line up on the grid, we get the best parking we possibly can, and hopefully that is going to allow us to get ahead of a couple of these cars off the start. If we can jump Tsunoda at the very least, I'll be pretty happy with that, and then hopefully we can make our way through as the lights come on and the lights go out as we switch to the replay camera. And you can see me in the background there. I got away decently well. I'm already challenging Tsunoda, and that's Piastri as well. I'm going up the middle of these guys. That's a bit dangerous, but I managed to navigate them, and I got ahead of both AlphaTauris and Piastri, and I'm up into P10 already. Next up is the Alfa Romeo of Théo Pourchaire. I think I looked at maybe going up the inside at this chicane, but yeah, that wasn't happening on this occasion. So we're going to have to hang back a little bit and try and get ahead of him later. So we've got Pourchaire coming up next, and then Schumacher, and then Alonso a little bit further ahead of him. I think I actually dived up the inside of Pourchaire there at that chicane, which that's tyre advantage for you, coupled with the fact that he has one of the, I was going to say one of the worst cars on the grid, but it's not even that, because the Alfa Romeo is a good car. It's just not got the right drivers in it at the moment. So yeah, struggling quite a lot. And now we'll see if we can get ahead of Schumacher up the inside at the hairpin. They like to brake early there. They always give you an opportunity, leave the door open, and I walked right through that one. And I find myself now in P8, having started P13. This is a fantastic beginning to the race. We're already back into the points, but we are going to be challenged back by Schumacher as we come into the final chicane, and he has to back out of that one. Otherwise, that was going to be an airplane crash at that kind of speed. So yeah, we cling on for the time being to P8, and we're going to try and set after the Alpine, worst car on the grid of Fernando Alonso, who continues to do fantastic things even at the ripe old age of 46 or however old he is at this point. Yeah, we're going to be challenging him into turn 1, going up the inside, and ooh, we go over the track, but the game doesn't demand that we give the position back, and so frankly I'm not going to. But it doesn't matter, because he demands that I give the position back a little bit later in the lap, about 30 seconds later or so. He overtakes me into the hairpin, but we do fight it back around the outside. He manages to kind of keep a foot in, and yeah, he has the superior straight line speed. The car for us, I think, is a bit more optimized through the corners compared to the rest of the AI, and that means we're a little bit slower in the straights, unfortunately, which means yeah, Alonso gets back ahead of us for the time being, but that's all right. We don't have to fight this battle just yet, and we got plenty of time to try and get back past him later in the race. Come on to the end of lap 8 and the beginning of lap 9 now, and you can see that there's a few cars who are starting to pit, including Gasly and Sainz and Schumacher have all come in. So I don't know if those guys got damaged, because it seems a little bit early, especially considering they all started on the medium compound tyres. I'm not really sure what the purpose of them coming into the pits was, but they have done it, and yeah, we'll see how their strategy plays out as we now come into the pits as well. We're going to be coming onto the set of medium tyres that I was talking about earlier for the remainder of the race. 23 laps. It should be absolutely fine. Our tyre wear around here is pretty good, pretty small. So yeah, we'll see what we can do on this set of medium tyres. Schumacher has pitted from a set of mediums onto a set of softs, so I can only assume he got some kind of damage that meant he had to pit early, because he wouldn't have done that. He wouldn't have done like 9 laps on the mediums or whatever. Anyway, we now find ourselves on lap 17, and I think Alonso has just pitted onto a set of hard compound tyres. So we're right behind him, and I think we're going to try and challenge him sooner rather than later, maybe dive up the inside at the hairpin. Yes, indeed, we are doing just that, but we brake a little bit late and go quite deep into the corner, but we do hold on to the position for the time being. But I think he might challenge us back on the run down this straight. We do have the DRS, which is about the only thing working in our favour that might keep him behind. I have to burn a bit more battery than I would have liked to keep him behind, because even with the DRS he seems to be a tiny bit faster, and we get into the chicane, we are just about ahead, and that allows us to hold on to the position, burn a bit more battery. I don't know if he's going to challenge me into turn 1 here or not. It doesn't look like it, so yeah, we've managed to hold on to the position for the time being. But yeah, pretty big battle between myself and Alonso this race. And I don't think it's ending here by the looks of things. Lap 21, we're going to see what's going on this occasion. See if Alonso is going to be attacking us again, or what his plan is. I don't think he's going to be quite close enough as we get down to the final chicane. But Sainz and Gasly are pitting again, as well as Lance Stroll. So yeah, I guess those guys must have got damaged. Maybe they had a collision at some point during the early part of the race. That promotes me up into P5. So we're pretty much where I wanted to be now, and I just want to hold on to this position for as long as I can. Alonso may be challenging me into the final corner, doesn't look like it, but he might have a run on me here on the run down to turn 1, and yeah, we'll see. Is he going to attack me? Yeah, he's going up the inside. Who's going to win out on this occasion? I've got the inside for the following corner, and I squeeze him out a little bit and hold on to it with the medium tyres. They've still got enough life in them to fight against Alonso's slightly fresher slightly grippier, hard tyres at this point, I would say. We can't battle too much because Gasly is on a fairly fresh set of mediums, and he could easily start coming back at us to try and get himself into P5 in this race. All the while Russell pulling further and further away. I think P5 is the maximum I'm going to be extracting from this race. You can see that Gasly has closed down on myself and Alonso, and I'm sure he'll be desperately trying to find his way into P5 if he possibly can. But first he's got to get past Alonso, which he's done, and now he's probably going to try and mount some pressure on me to try and get back into this P5 position. But I'm going to defend it with everything I've got. I've got a lot of battery saved up, so I'm sure I'll be burning a little bit more of that over the coming laps. You know, we've done a good job of defending the position while saving the battery, but it might not be enough. Gasly goes up the inside, we fight him back, and yeah, we managed to hold him off for the time being, but I think he's probably going to fight me back again into the first corner. He's going to have the DRS, so he's going to be hard to defend from. Alonso's close as well. We defend from Alonso. Can we defend from Gasly? Around the outside at turn 1, turns to the inside at turn 2. Will we squeeze him out in time? Yes, we will, and we hold on to P5. 7 laps remaining to hold on to this position, and I think we're going to be under a lot of pressure from these guys now. I think I could finish anywhere between P5 and P7 in this race, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, we'll see. He dives up the inside again, and I am under an immense amount of pressure from Pierre Gasly right now. I really don't know. I don't know who this is gonna fall to, but he's gonna try and go around the outside here at this following corner. That's not really a place you can overtake on this circuit, and he actually has to back out a little bit and falls back into the clutches of Fernando Alonso slightly. But I'm sure that won't be the last we see of Pierre Gasly. He's going to have the DRS here in this following zone, and man, this is turning into a very intense battle at this point. I don't know if he's going to close me down in time to overtake me, as I lightly tapped the wall there. That was a bit careless of me. I don't know if he's going to be able to close me down by the time we get to the final chicane. He's not, but will he have a run through the final chicane to have a go at me into turn 1? I've burnt all the battery I'm prepared to burn at the moment, which is interesting because I have a lot of it saved up. Is he going to try and overtake? Nope. So we hold on for another few corners, and man, this is becoming pretty scary at this point. We move on to lap 31 now. You can see Alonso has actually managed to get back ahead of Gasly, and I think they are starting to battle with one another a little bit, which is allowing me to kind of escape from these guys a little bit. We're kind of pulling out over a second to the cars behind, which means that Alonso will be losing out on his DRS, which means Gasly will find it easier to get past him potentially. So yeah, in the end they hold up each other more and more and more. But then lap 32, we get the absolutely brutal message from Mark saying that we might have an issue. They're going to attempt to manage it, but I think we know how these ones always turn out, unfortunately. I wish it weren't the case. I'd love to say it ain't so, but I think that this is probably a foregone conclusion at this point. You know, we managed to make it 7 races without a failure, so we've done pretty well, but that is as far as that's going. So yeah, that's race over for us, unfortunately. Mechanical failure, and yeah, only 3 laps to go. That was a pretty brutal time for it to happen, especially considering the recovery we made. I think we're probably on for driver of the day, as well as the 10 points we were going to score, and yeah, that's that. And yeah, very disappointing. But the plus side is that it means it probably, and I emphasize probably, won't happen next race, which is Britain.
A truly magnificent drive and a great performance from the entire team to secure victory here in Canada. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
A show-stopping performance from the 3 drivers approaching the podium right now. It's been an interesting Grand Prix, that's for sure.
So despite starting third, Albon managed to worm his way into the lead of the Grand Prix, relegated Leclerc to second place, and Verstappen came home in third despite managing an issue for the final few laps of the race. And yeah, that means that Albon is going to reclaim the lead of the championship by I think 13 points or so, and we're going to have to try and fight back at what is our home race, and kind of a home race for Albon. Obviously he has lived and grew up in England for a lot of his life, so I'm sure he'll be keen to win that one as well, and I'm sure it's going to be an epic battle in the following race.
Let's have a quick look at how the drivers' standings have changed. Alex Albon takes the lead in the Drivers' Championship after a superb result. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Natalie Pinkham, come on, who do you pick?
I think for driver of the day, I'd probably pick Lando Norris. He lived up to every inch of his reputation today, and I think he'll be going home, quite rightly, a bit proud of himself.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. The current leaders continue to extend their lead at the top. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
Well, it was indeed the case that Alfa Romeo scored their first points of the season today. Théo Pourchaire picking up 8th place for Alfa Romeo, and 4 points in the process. Yeah, a lot of interesting battles starting to worm out. I think that fight for P3 is going to be quite similar. Oh, sorry, P2 is going to be a three-way fight, much like it was last year. And Alpine, despite being the worst car on the grid, seem to be locked in a battle for 5th with Mercedes at the moment. So that's going to be interesting as well. But yeah, I don't want to be down and out in this championship for too long, so I am going to try and bounce back immediately in my home race, which is Britain, which is coming up next. But that is going to be it for this video, so if you're looking forward to the next one, please make sure you like and subscribe, and yeah, hopefully I will see you in the next one.